from Gravel by California, back here in Whittier, where we're having another edition of our Send It Maverick Cycles. We ended our Send It series last year here because it's such a fun shop, and the trails up there just has so much variety. It's a lot of fun packed in. Also, we're real big fans of Maverick Cycles because it's more than a bike shop, and I'm not just talking about the coffee, but just such a community hub. You come here almost every week, there's pretty much rides, so let's roll! There are so many things that make riding out of Maverick Cycles appealing, as there's a lot of distractions for cyclists here. With us firmly set in the middle of holiday season, who doesn't want to go N+1 with a new kit? Or toss in some morning pastries and coffee, as everyone was getting geared up for the ride, with the assemblage filling the bulk of the parking lot, flushing everyone out to get the pedaling started, thinking that we had an even larger group this year, with our first 5 miles paved through the streets of Whittier, getting a better sense of who was with us. Well, this is a pretty big group ride. I mean, Maverick Cycles gets a lot of people here for their local rides, so you see a lot of regulars here, and if you're looking for a place to ride in LA, great little hub. We moved through town pretty well for a group of our size, and maybe it was because we were in a festive mood, but there's always a sense of togetherness on a group ride, perhaps a little bit easier on pavement, without dust kicking up in all of our faces, as I could put this theory to test heading into the central business district that coincided being on the detour around the Christmas parade, adding just a couple of extra minutes on our journey, with the tease of climbing before we officially changed surfaces, while others unofficially did it ahead of schedule, funneling in to the start of our off-road action. Turnbull is our first climb. It's about 2 miles. It's pretty steady, gets a little pitchy in the middle, but great little warm-up and big reward at the top. Maybe the tower wasn't listed on our route, but it's fairly obvious that it's an add-on that most took on. Even some getting double extra credit, taking the steeper way up, as I figured using gravity to my advantage was a better choice, with the descent only super pitchy for a brief worry, launching down with our next collection point nearby, ready to take on one of my favorite portions of the day. Now, the 7th Street Loop is a big highlight of today's ride. I mean, someone must have been a roller coaster designer because it starts you off, pulls you back up, and then just really jabs you down there. So, you know it's a pretty good ride if I'm wearing all these cameras and then Dom photobombs me. Yeah. All descents apparently must come to an end. Otherwise, we'd get into a chicken and the egg Escher argument, where here you'll be high on switchback awareness, with the beginning pretty exposed to sunlight, even though we're on the north side of the ridge, as the straightaways were way easier than the turns, but that all changed heading back into the trees.
Very few can make it up, but no shame doing a little bit of walking here. Rest of the way, pretty clean. Although, yeah, I'll be out of gears.
At least we had some flatness to recover and build speed, because it was more the same back to battling hairpins and the occasional jogger. But at least there was more space between the turns, figuring it might be funner if you could start this loop from the bottom, as it does get a bit pitchy towards the top, making you think that maybe we climbed too much with this short descent on the way out that's a little loose, being good to play it safe, as Nolan from the Bike Sauce knows how to handle this loop on any kind of bike. We had to make a transition to our next segment of dirt that was on the other side of Turnbull Canyon Road, requiring a little gate avoidance workaround and a short effort that we'd thank the altitude for, as now we had a lot more road to let gravity do its thing. I knew everyone was encouraging me to jump, knowing that I'd likely crash. But I had a ride that I wasn't halfway done leading, trying to direct people to follow our route ahead, although a good part of the crew wanted to try the short piece of dirt to the right, that I chose avoiding a run-in with goat heads like my previous time, instead sticking to my responsibility as a semi-informed ride leader, as now we had to make our way through Hacienda Heights that was expedited despite this short pitch, with most of us using just our smallest cog, hitting our main midway stop for refills and Grupo Compacto.
Now that we're in Schabarum Park, it's back to dirt. We're going to go up Powder Canyon, which is a pretty windy climb. Going to take a little bit to ascend, but then the downhill single track action again, a little bumpy, but hey, we can do it all.
I didn't designate the peak as a stopping point, but no complaints whoever put this forward, as it was interesting that this was some of the locals' first time on this shreddy downhill on Powder Canyon Loop.
Oh! I got you on video.
While we exited out to the road, the loop shortly boomeranged back to dirt, where I didn't have the best of news.
This climb up, I'm not making any more friends, but at least we'll have an appetite after.
Coming back around the gates started our tale of two climbs, with the first half being super pleasant, where maybe the bumpiness of the surface slowed us as much as the grade, and being guided under the canopy of oaks, but a big change in riding style for the last mile, where the bulk of the grade is in the double digits, which is great if your mindset is to leave the atmosphere efficiently, as there was no need to race our way up, with everyone dealing with the same struggle. Although, like Brandon, we forgot how tough it was, and he even laid out the course, thankful that the slope eased off towards the top, as a tower was once again a symbol of a vertical shift.
Doing our last dirt segment here. Most people have made up the climb, I assume. It's kind of a mixture of the greatest hits. A little single track feel, but a lot of space and definitely a lot of speed.
This skate marked an end of an era, finishing off our last piece of dirt for the day, as well as one of Scott's spokes. But what great timing, as the rest was all paved.
Got about 6 miles of road left. It's gonna be rolling and fun, and I mean, I need your jersey for this.
While no one was asking for another climb, no matter how short, in this case, it might have been a good thing. Working to spread out this group, even on a short effort, spacing out this clutter on this narrow descent before we really grinded the gears on West Road. We might have been split on how everyone finished the last mile, but not about getting food, although there was more decision making between El Compa Vegano Tacos and Rise Kitchen serving up lunch-worthy breakfast burritos, as this is just a place you want to hang out all day and maybe get a second serving of coffee too, hitting all the notes for cyclist favorites, as Maverick Cycles always delivers on a great day of riding.